Guys, happy Thursday. Thanks for stopping by for another episode here at alliseeisW, where we talk about stocks, crypto, and finance. In today's video, we'll be doing a deep dive analysis covering Opendoor Technologies, ticker Open. We've been hearing a lot about Open, how a lot of people are bullish about the potential upside on what's to come. We'll be going through a deep dive analysis covering the latest updates with Opendoor Technologies, as well as me sharing my technical analysis price predictions of Open in the coming days, weeks, and the rest of 2025, along with, further out. Now, if you're new to this channel, first off, I'm so thrilled that you're here. I would really appreciate you smashing the like, subscribing for more related content. Let's get started, guys. Let's first take a look at a post from the president of Opendoor, Strisha. He's saying, we're all in on the long-term opportunity at Open. Actions speak louder than words. I'm personally buying more stock, and all members of our executive team have canceled their 10B51 selling plans. And Amit is investing. He's a big time ex-influencer. He responded, "This is bullish Open." So, we had Amit interviewing Tom Lee not too long ago. Tom Lee was very bullish as well, comparing Open Door Technologies to Tesla when Tesla was, growing as a growth stock. And look at where Tesla is now. So, can Open Doors be the next Carvana stock? Heisenberg posts about Open. He's saying Open insider buy. President bought 128,000 worth at $4.28. Not a lot, but it's something. And that was purchased today, with that transaction. Anthony Pompliano, he's been bullish on Open. He's been sharing a lot of information, feedback to the executive team, and he's responded today. Wow, Open leadership just listened to retail activism and is putting monetary skin in the game. Long-term alignment is the first step to building a monster business. So definitely very bullish when you got the own executive team buying shares of, the company that they work for. Eric Jackson, big time advocate for Opendoor Technologies. He posted on February 28, 2023, with Carvana at $9.42 after bottoming at $3.50. I emailed Ernie Garcia Jr. He kindly wrote back a few weeks ago. It hit $413. Carvana was just as special at $3.50 at $9.42 as it is now, like all of us. So definitely very bullish. Are we going to see Open, start becoming accretive in nature and start growing in terms of its share price over time? Pranji posts exactly 82 upvotes. It's assigned Eric Jackson. The top 20 contracts that have been traded, Nvidia being number one, you have Tesla number two, and look, you have Open top three contracts traded with the amount of calls, puts. So you have, more calls than puts right now, but just think about it. They're on the top list, bypassing Palantir, Apple, Robinhood, SoFi. That's very bullish when you look at it. There's so much volumes, interest with just shares traded, contracts being purchased, sold on Opendoor Technologies. Eric Jackson posts God's plan and an Open Super Bowl ad with Drake. The Wise Ape Man posted Open God candle incoming tomorrow. And I'd love to hear what your perspective. Are we going to see a God candle coming tomorrow? We're going to get macro news updates that the Fed will be looking at very closely. So let's say any positive updates, we can get additional rate cuts in the rest of 2025, with the first one coming in September. But let's say we get more cuts in October, December, 3 rate cuts, for example. That's going to be very bullish on what's to come. And, just with Eric Jackson, posting videos wanting Drake to buy one share of Opendoor. So we got open houses by realtors. No, that's not the way to go. But through Opendoor, that's the way to go. The future, how this is really going to transform how we look at, just home transactions. Eric Jackson also posts tomorrow at dawn, we march as Open Army team. So definitely huge upside. Open Army is getting bigger, louder, and stronger. You're not bullish enough. Stock Pattern Pros post is open. Here comes the 550 top retest, in my opinion. Can this blow through the top? So, what are we looking at? We're seeing a cup and handle formation, and can we see a run up top? That's going to be coming. In the coming days, weeks. What if it's tomorrow? What if it's the first week of September? So very bullish. Just hold on tight. Things are going to be very favorable for Open Door Technologies. Let's look at, the overnight trading right now with Open Door currently at $4.45 today. It went up 6%, in the overnight right now, currently up an additional 4%. It'll be very interesting to see how Open Door performs tomorrow. I'm thinking we're going to have a huge upside, especially with just the last couple of days of consolidation, it correcting. Let's look at technical analysis of Open Door technology. So we're looking at open on the daily candle. We had that run up back in July when it was like 81 cents, ran all the way up to like, $5.13, had a pullback, created, a support around, $1.81, stair stepped, and, it climbed all the way up to, 5.87, and, we had a pullback after that. And, just with yesterday, it stayed above $4, and today it kept that level of support around the $4 range. So when you think about it, prior resistance breakthrough now becoming the support, it's only a matter of time. Open Door Technologies is just playing out. It's consolidating. It's going to start, retesting the prior resistance around 550, and then, it's just going to be a continuous stair step pattern up to high levels, where I'm thinking as we scale out through, the rest of 2025 onward to 2026, we could very well see Open Door Technologies get to $60. Now, on the near term, I think as we head into the first week of September, we may very well break through, let's say $8, $10, in the month of September. So just, hold on tight. Things are going to be very bullish. And I'm very bullish on Open Door Technologies. I've been loading up as well. And, I definitely believe in the use case, the fundamentals, and the technicals look very good, especially with so much volume being traded. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please, I would really appreciate you hitting the like, subscribing for more related content. Thanks, guys.